What's going on, people of YouTube? My name is Kurtyoy and welcome to another video. Now, the camera may wobble a bit because it's an awkward angle, and also standing up. Before I show off my tie, the microphone usually blocks it off, so I'm showing off the fact I'm actually wearing a tie because I just got home from work, seen the England squad announcement and thought, that's very questionable, Mr. Roy Hodgson, very questionable. So I'm going to run through the team, let you know about a few, well, things I would change and things to maybe, look at for the future, but you've got to appreciate this is only friendlies. This is not set in stone. I am going to try and sort my camera out quickly to make sure it's sort of sturdy. That hopefully will do the trick. But England's team was announced. A lot of people raising some eyebrows and people saying, oh, this player should be in the team, this player should be in the team, this player shouldn't be in the team, this player shouldn't be in the team. So I thought I'd give my opinion in the form of a video. So we're going to start off with the three goalkeepers they've named, which I couldn't agree with more. Hart, Butland and Forster. They were the three I said I'd take to Europe, and I believe I've said it, as long as back in October sort of time, as long as Forster was fit, those would be the three I'd take, because Butland was hitting form back then. And it stays true now. I feel like they're the three best keepers we've got, and it's definitely there's no other choice unless one of them gets injured. We've got Ben Foster to come in, but I can't see him getting over Butland or Forster, and I can't see Hart making it out of the team unless he's injured. So those three I can't, really have any quarrels with. Then the centre backs. We've got 4 centre backs in this team, and again, I couldn't. It's going swimmingly when I looked at this. Cahill, Smalling, Jagielka and Stones were the 4 I said I'd take in the summer. Reason being, Cahill and Smalling I think are easily our best centre-back partnership. Jagielka offers experience and is a good, covering centre-back to have if one of them isn't fit or, is injured or is suspended, for example. And Stones, he could do with the experience, it will do him good, but he's not played this well the whole season. And I feel like, coming and running with Cahill playing and Zuma injured, that will help him get in the first team. Smalling's been outstanding throughout most of the year. Stones has not been up to par for the whole of the year, so he doesn't deserve to get the start. But as far as the centre-backs goes, very good decision making there. 2 left-backs, this is the part where it starts to get a bit debatable, but I can understand where it's coming from. Bertrand, who said I'd take, and Danny Rose. Now, Danny Rose, is a... People could argue that one and say maybe Aaron Cresswell, but I feel like it's definitely a good choice. West Ham have conceded a lot of goals this season, is something to be noted. And Danny Rose has shone, although he is, battling left-back spot with Ben Davies, it seems, at the moment. But he seems to be getting the better of Ben Davies and starting more games. And I feel like that could, I feel like that could put him in good stead come the summer, because I feel like he could be our second left-back. I mentioned Baines, but with Baines not turning up, that much, and West Ham maybe conceding one too many goals for Roy Hodgson's liking, I feel like Rose and Bertrand could be the left back partnership. And I did mention the left backs are going to the right backs now, which is what you'd expect. We haven't really got any other right backs except Walker and Klein. You could say Trippier's got a chance, but Trippier's not going to get in because he's playing second fiddle to Walker in the first team of Tottenham. And although I said I wouldn't bring Walker, I'd just bring the Klein as the one right back, because we've got players that can play there, i.e. Dier and Stones and Smalling, for example. It is they're the best 2 right backs. If you are going to take 2 right backs, I feel like definitely, the best 2 to take, so no quarrels of that. Now, central midfield is where, a lot of, conversations and arguments and, a bit of raised eyebrows were, sparked, because you've got the 4... I've put it into 6 central midfielders, sorry, not 4. I've got Dele Alli, Barkley, Dier, Drinkwater, Henderson and Milner as essential midfielders. There are other midfielders to come, don't worry. But Alli, good choice, he's in great form. Same with Barkley, in fantastic form, 2 of them, and 2 definites for the summer, I believe. And you've got Drinkwater and Dier in there. I feel like both, definitely deserve to be in there. Henderson, couldn't agree more. I feel like he should be in the central midfield spot regardless. And James Milner, again, absolute workhorse, can play in any position you put him in and do well. 110% every single minute of the game, so definitely worth bringing him. So central midfield generally, I've got no problems with, but there are people that are saying, oof, Mark Noble. Where's Mark Noble? And you could say, oof, well, if you're going to do central midfielders, Ali's been playing further forward, so he could be an attacking midfielder. Same with Barkley, he plays further forward. Same with Milner, he could be, we could class him as right back, left back, central midfielder, striker, wherever. He can play wherever. But I've just put it as like that, because then it'll simplify it going forward. But I've got 3 attacking midfielders I've outlined, or the 3 attacking midfielders in the squad I've outlined is Lallana, Sterling and Walcott. Now, eyebrows about, you could say all 3 of them. Lallana has not turned up for the whole of the season and has been poor in parts, and Liverpool fans have questioned the fact he might just be another average player to be at the club. Walcott, well, he's not in the best of seasons, let's put it that way. And many people, including me, are sort of like, you know, is he deserved of a call-up? And Sterling, I feel like he hasn't done that well, but he's also done all right. So he's done enough to get into the team, and I would have him in there. Of the three, he's the only one I'm keeping. Spoiler alert, I'll be doing my changes for it. But, you know, definitely worth noting he hasn't been good, and he needs to step up in form. But looking at the way Roy Hodgson's picked the squads, I don't think form's going to matter. If you're in his good books, you're in his good books. And lastly, the full strikers, Kane, Sturridge, Vardy and Welbeck, which, you know, many people will agree with. I've got a few changes, or one maybe change to that I'll get onto in a sec. But Kane, you know, he's a definite. I feel like Sturridge is pretty much a definite as long as he stays fit. Vardy, I'm pretty sure he's a definite now. At the end of the season, he's still playing well. And Welbeck, I feel like he's going to be a definite, but with Rooney coming in, you know, who's Rooney going to take? You know, whose place is he going to take? But that's the team. 24, which is, I thought it was 23, but he's taken 24 for the two games. Now I've got a segment called Worth Noting, and now after that I'm going to have a segment called Changes. Now, worth noting, Scott Dan, although Crystal Palace have been out of form, he's been a leader at the back, scoring 5 goals, having 2 assists, and, you know, pretty much keeping Crystal Palace in games at times. It's definitely worth looking at, but not at the moment. I feel like they've got the fall right. But if Everton continues to play poorly and Palace pull their socks up and play well, maybe Jagielka or Stones might be victim of you know, missing out in the summer when it comes to selection, and Scott Dan might nick their place. Next up, Cresswell. I did mention him, the fact that maybe Rose was just enough to get over him, but there'll be a ding-dong battle come the end, and if Cresswell can maybe get his aim up, get a few more assists, 1 or 2 goals to his name, and also try and sturdy out West Ham's back line, I feel like he could cause real problems in the selection process for the summer. Then we've got, of course, Mr. Mark Noble, who many people are horrified at the fact he didn't make it into the team. Me being one of them, I can't understand how he hasn't made it into the team. I'll be speaking about more with him later on in the video. Then we've got Mikel Antonio. I, again, am stunned as to how he's not come in. Big fan of Antonio, you know, pretty much raised at Sheffield Wednesday, joined us from Reading in the end because he wasn't playing, you know, football there, joined us in League One, got up to the Championship, did well for us when he played for us in the Championship, moved on to Forest, did well there, gone on to West Ham, done well there. Reason I think is a great choice, played him right back for West Ham, winger for West Ham and everywhere he's been, and also he's played striker. He can play striker because he did that at Nottingham Forest, so he's an absolute utility, and if you do it down one side, you can do it down the other, barring left back, because obviously, you know, you got to look at that and think you can't play left back if you're, you know, a right winger or a striker. But also after that, Albrighton. He's pretty much the forgotten man because people sing the praises of Vardy and Mahrez, you know, Kante and Drinkwater also well, but Albrighton's been there and performing well, and I feel like it's just the fact he has been a little bit forgotten that is the reason he hasn't been picked. Then we've got Jesse Lingard, another one that pretty much has been, you know, flown over and sort of dusted away for now. He's had a good season compared to, you know, what people thought he would do, and I feel like he's got him running. If he can have a good end to the season, he's got a chance of getting picked, but at the moment he's not in the team. And Jermaine Defoe, now, you know, very, very questionable over that, but one thing to note is that Defoe scored 11 goals in a pretty shoddy Sunderland team, so maybe he have a chance. If someone gets injured, then he might have a chance of nipping in there. And one other person I haven't written down, but I've got in my head, Aaron Lennon. Been in fantastic form. I feel like his form came a little bit too late, but if he continues to play like that for the rest of the season, could be in with a chance. Now to the changes. I've got 3 changes in mind for the team in 24. First of all, I would take out Lallana, and I'd bring in Noble. Reason being, I feel like Ali and Barkley can move forward. That's why I mentioned it earlier on. Milner also can move forward, which gives us Dier, Drinkwater, and Henderson as 3, you know, out and out, you know, central midfielders that will sit in the, you know, the central midfield role, not attacking midfield role. And Mark Noble is someone who can calm down the play, pretty much like a Michael Carrick. You give him the ball, or you give him the ball, and he's going to be the calming presence. Next up, we've got Theo Walcott. He's had an awful season so far, and for me, Antonio has to get in front of him. His form this season has been fantastic since he's come in. He's proved why he is a big, big player for West Ham, and I feel like the fact he hasn't made it into this squad, along with Noble, is a little bit criminal. And lastly, out goes Welbeck, in goes Defoe. Welbeck has been injured for a long time. He's only scored those 2 goals so far. well, and the one in the FA Cup. But he did miss a sitter after that, so proving Welbeck is still Welbeck. I feel like Defoe does deserve a chance though, because he has been out of the team for a while, just like Lennon. But he's scoring goals, and although he hasn't scored in the last few games, I feel like he's done it consistently, you know, at a decent pace throughout the season. Could end up with 16, 17, 18 goals, which is good for a striker in a, you know, pretty much a relegated team. But that is that for my team review. I feel like it's a decent-ish team. There are changes to be made everywhere, and come the summer, I feel like it'll be a completely different team to this. Many changes. Of course, we've got the, you know, likes of injuries and all that. But hey ho. We'll have to see how they play. If they play very well against Germany and Holland, we might have a good team on our hands. But thank you guys for watching nonetheless. If you like this video, leave a like. Let me know what you think about the team. Who would you bring in? Who would you take out of the team? What team would you play come the summer in Euro 2016? Leave all that in the comments down below. And subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.